Once we'd selected Schoolbox as our new learning management system, we developed a Schoolbox implementation plan with some key dates in order to ensure our rollout was successful. We first focused on staff, followed by students, followed by parents, and set some key timelines for each user group to make sure that the rollout to that audience was going to be successful and our engagement levels would be as high as possible. During the Schoolbox implementation process, we made a key decision to focus a lot of our professional learning time to Schoolbox and how we could develop the skills of our staff to make sure the implementation was going to be successful. We ran a number of sessions with small groups, with large groups. We provided video resources and PDF guides to ensure that staff were supported along the way. We also had key personnel and learning area experts attend the faculty meetings, which ran each fortnight, to ensure that staff felt supported and there was someone to turn to along every step of the way. Initially, when we set up Schoolbox, we had roles created for students, parents, teaching staff and non-teaching staff. We quickly found out that it was getting overly complicated to make decisions on what the permissions should be for teaching staff versus non-teaching staff, and there were certain staff in certain roles that needed permission to pages that didn't line up with their audience group or user group. What we then decided to do was make it as simple as possible and just have 3 key user groups, one for students, one for parents and one for staff. And that certainly made things a lot easier and a lot more accessible from a Schoolbox user experience.
What we've found is you can have the best system in the world, but if you don't have your staff on board, then you've really wasted your time and effort.
So firstly, in terms of how new teachers using Schoolbox would set this up, I think the most important thing is to work with someone. Schoolbox is an amazing thing if you're working as a team. It is not a great system to work with by yourself. And I found having a few leaders in your school that are competent and feel happy with Schoolbox, use all the Schoolbox tutorials. I'm someone who likes teaching myself and they helped me understand every single part of the program. In terms of the introduction of Schoolbox, the most important thing that our school did was communication. We had an amazing leader that really helped push it. Like, we had videos and we had PDFs of everything, and I think having those meetings and actually having the time to set it up, I think it's a program, if you're given 5 minutes, you can't just start from there. You really need that time to build up.
One of the key strategies in maximising user engagement in our new LMS was a staggered implementation. So initially we opened Schoolbox up to our staff towards the beginning of 2016 with the aim of opening Schoolbox to students at the beginning of the school year in 2017. We then allowed students and staff to work on Schoolbox together for term 1 of 2017 before we opened to parents in term 2. The staggered implementation allowed us to focus solely on the staff user group first, the student user group second, and the parent user group third to make sure that we engaged them and supported them through their user experience on Schoolbox for the first time. We measured user adoption with our new LMS with staff by tracking how our courses were being populated at the very top level, which is the course page, and then following from that, the unit page. We tracked progress on each of those pages by giving staff a checklist of things that they needed to, add, and information that needed to be readily available to staff, students and parents on the course page and the unit page before focusing on the class page at the beginning of the 2017 school year. One of our key strategies in ensuring that there was clarity and maximum buy-in from staff across all learning areas was to develop a key set of standards across course pages, unit pages and class pages. So we had a template for each type of page and a to-do list or a checklist to ensure that staff knew exactly what needed to be populated on each page. So we set the template up for them, which I had designed, and then they just needed to populate the page with the relevant information rather than building the page from scratch. I think it's really important as a leader within the school and being part of a change process such as adopting a new LMS that you communicate as clearly as you can to staff about what the minimum expectations are and when certain objectives need to be delivered by throughout that change process. So we went in with minimum expectations for a unit page, a course page and a class page, set some due dates and developed a lot of supporting resources to staff, and a lot of PD time was allocated to delivering these outcomes so that staff felt supported along this journey rather than being given due dates and deadlines without any support along the way. We used a few different metrics to measure the engagement levels of teachers with Schoolbox. We used the homepage statistics to see how often they were accessing certain pages. We tracked how many courses and unit pages were being developed. And we also tracked what the uptake views were on the YouTube guides that we created that were specific to our Schoolbox instance. The way we trained staff and students to use Schoolbox were via YouTube videos, which were provided by Schoolbox, but also ones that we developed internally for our specific instance of Schoolbox, and also PDF guides, which gave a step-by-step process on how to use Schoolbox and what the key functionalities were. We ran information evenings for parents, and also hosted assemblies for students to outline how Schoolbox would work and how students could access Schoolbox for the first time.
In terms of vision of where we see the project going in the future, we'd really like to see Schoolbox embracing all aspects of college life. Overall, a package which is, I suppose, a one-stop shop for all our community to be able to gain information about students, about what they're up to, about learning in particular across all aspects of college life. It's changed the way that we've approached our reporting and our feedback to parents and students.